Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek. Sorry, I'm just sorting my stuff out. I hope this is working. I've left it late, starting me stream. I thought I'll do it at 8 o'clock instead of 7:30, and I'm still rushing about at the last minute because of the cat. She came in like 2 minutes ago wanting to be fed, and now I've had to chase her out again. Animals, eh? Anyway, right, we're here with some news. Hope you can hear me. I haven't had a chance to test my microphone. It says it's working. I hope it is. Right. So we've got some news. I will get my window up. Where they put the bloody thing? It's there. Right, there we go. There we go. Off we go. Obviously, as everybody knows, the sad news, Nichelle Nichols, who played Lieutenant Nyota Uhura in Star Trek from 1966 up until, what was the last film? The Undiscovered Country, in Star Trek 6. She passed away aged 89, I do believe, a few days ago. And it's very sad. I know 89 is a good age. I hope I live that long. And I don't think she was super happy in the last few years. I think, her age was catching up to her, and there's talk that, I don't know if it's true or not, but her family weren't exactly, nice. But they said that about Stan Lee, didn't they, and all that, but I don't know. But it's still very sad. Anyway, there's this article that I've found from Variety, and it says, Nichelle Nichols remembered the Wrath of Khan director Nicholas Meyer, is it Meyer or Meyer? Whatever. Meyer, on Star Trek Trailblazers Legacy. And there she is. I do believe that is from Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. I do believe. Nichelle Nichols, the trailblazing star of Star Trek, who died on Saturday at age 89, was a model of unruffled professionalism as Lieutenant Uhura, never breaking a sweat as she manned the communications desk of the Starship Enterprise. But for Nicholas Meyer, the director and screenwriter of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, his favourite on-screen memory of Nichols's is a rare moment where Uhura is at a loss for words. In the 6th instalment, our heroes are trying to infiltrate Klingon airspace without the use of a universal translator, which would give them away. I didn't like that scene. Did not like that scene at all. Why can't she speak Klingon? She's supposed to speak all these other languages, as we saw in Strange New Worlds. I know Star Trek 2 came out before then. But why couldn't she speak Klingon? She's a communications officer. The Klingons are the Federation's, mortal enemy at that time. You'd have thought she'd have learned Klingon, wouldn't you? You'd have thought so. It's like, a lot of American, frontline, agents or whatever. They learn Russian, or they used to, didn't they, in the Cold War? I don't know about now, but, the new Russian. But anyway, that's by the by. Right, where were we? That leaves Uhura and the rest of the crew pouring through Klingon dictionaries, paper ones, books, in a desperate attempt to hold up a conversation with the crew of another ship. And they said that the universal translator will be recognised, but not you going looking through a book and going, "Das war doch Ren." And anyway. Nichelle is just responding in the most appalling Klingon dialect, and her face looks so pained, and at one point one of them makes a joke in Klingon. Meyer remembers. Yes. And they all go, ho, 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 and she's like, going, ho, ho, ho. She doesn't understand, but gets that she's supposed to find it amusing, so she just gives this hearty laugh and then abruptly cuts off the connection. It was just brilliant. Yeah, it was amusing, but I still didn't like it. Nichols broke barriers as one of the first black women to have a major role on network television, and Nichols understood the impact that kind of representation had on audiences and used her celebrity to increase opportunities for others by working with NASA to recruit diverse astronauts. Meyer, who spoke with Variety after news broke that Nichols had died, sees parallels between her work and that of Bill Russell, the NBA legend and civil rights advocate who died on Sunday. My experience with writing and directing The Wrath of Khan was chaotic in many ways. It was only the second movie I'd ever directed, after Time, starring the late David Warner, who also died recently, and Malcolm McDowell, and Mary Steenburgen. Is it Mary? Yeah, Mary Steenburgen. It's a good film. And I was relatively unfamiliar with the whole Star Trek world. What I thought was remarkable, not only about Nichelle, but about the whole cast, was how professional and courteous they were in welcoming a newcomer to that world and teaching me how it worked and how they worked together. When Star Trek was a television series, they got used to the idea of different directors, different writers coming in for the various episodes, so they were professionally experienced. They were just amazingly helpful to me, and she was amazingly helpful. I was also writing the screenplay, and she would say things like, "This isn't exactly how Uhura would express herself here." She would give me her version, and then I'd tweak it. Nichelle told me to bear in mind that Uhura's professionalism transcends her gender. This is a trained officer who is unflappable. She said, "If you listen to those NASA communications officers, all hell can be breaking loose, but they never betray that in how they talk. They remain calm." As for Nichelle, she was always professional and prompt. She knew her lines, and she was not shy about making contributions. I remember she lectured me on Wrath of Khan and said, "Look, if you're saving my close-ups for the end of the day..." Look, you're saving my close-ups for the end of the day. That is not the best time to shoot an actress. What did I know? So we went back to the scene first thing in the morning. Nichelle was multi-talented in that Leonard Bernstein way. Everything she touched, she was good at. She could dance, she could sing, she could act. She was a natural-born storyteller and was also fearlessly outspoken about things she thought were important, whether those were things that were important in the scene or cultural and political issues. I think that encounter with Dr. King, when he told her to stay on the show because it was important to so many black viewers, really opened a window for her and threw a light on what she was doing in ways that she hadn't previously given much thought to. But once he made clear to her the good that could come for her being on Star Trek, she ran with that more or less for the rest of her life. She worked a lot with NASA, and she knew exactly what she was doing, and she was great at helping recruit for them. When we worked together on Star Trek 6, it was a bittersweet experience because it was going to be the last film for the original cast, and they knew it. But it didn't really impact anything until we filmed the last scene of the movie, which was on the last day of shooting. It had been psychologically built into the schedule that day. Well, nobody was happy. It was like, "I don't like this line," or "I don't like that line. Can we try it again?" It wasn't just Nichelle. Everybody was having ambivalent feelings. These people had interacted with one another over decades and had to make peace with the hand that fate had dealt them. The success of the show and the movies had paid for houses and kids' braces, but it had also chained them together for eternity. They had complicated feelings about one another and other jobs that they might have wanted to do, but had to turn down or weren't considered for. They were a family. They didn't always get along. It could be fractious, as families tend to be, but now it was time to say goodbye, and saying goodbye is usually harder than anyone expects. There was a wrap party afterwards, and usually those are unambiguous celebrations. This was quite complicated. No one knew what they should be feeling. It was something between a wedding and a wake. When you say something when you say someone or something is great, you're already implying some sort of uniqueness or specificity. That's a word and a half, isn't it? Where were we? God damn it, if great were common, we wouldn't get so excited about it when it showed its face. Think about Bill Russell, who we are also memorialising right now. It's the same thing. We're talking about greatness, and greatness is inimitable, just like Nichelle. And both Nichelle and Bill Russell were trailblazers. They were trailblazers in the face of the most appalling adversity, which we'd like to tell ourselves is the thing of the past, but we know it is not. I've met two kinds of people in my life, people who have profited from their experiences and people who have been embittered by them. Well, Nichelle was never embittered by what she had to deal with. She was enlarged from her experiences and the adversity she faced. And that's it, as told to Brett Lang. So there we go. That's Nicholas Mayer's thoughts on Nichelle Nichols, who passed away a couple of days ago. And it's very sad. Right, let's move on. Speaking of Star Trek and Star Trek 2 and Nicholas Meyer, Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, returns to theatres next month. And there's the picture, the poster. He tasks me He tasks me, and I shall have him. I'll chase him around the moons of Nibia, and round the Antares maelstrom, and round perdition's flames, before I give him a Khan Noonien sing. And he says, prepare to alter course. The late, great Ricardo Montalban. What a guy. Right, while you might remember how all this turns out for Admiral James T. Kirk's Ahab-quoting nemesis, you'll have an opportunity to fully experience once again, or for the first time, the beginning of vengeance at the end of the universe. Fan favourite Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, is returning to the big screen next month. I think in proper English, posh people, I think they say wrath, don't they? They don't say wrath. Like us Yorkshire people and Americans, they say wrath. But I think, people that speak the Queen's English, they'll say wrath. The Wrath of Khan. To celebrate 40 years since the film's release in June 1982. 1982 was an amazing year, wasn't it, for genre movies. We had Star Trek II, we had Blade Runner, The Thing. I think we had E.T. as well, didn't we? E.T. Oh, what else? Loads of other stuff, probably. Did we also get Sword and the Sorcerer? Was that 1982? I love that film. I haven't seen it for ages. To celebrate 40 years since the film's release in June 1982, select theatres across the country, this will be America, across the country will be showing the director's cut of The Wrath of Khan on September 4th, 5th and 8th. Nicholas Meyer directed the film in which Admiral James T. Kirk faces his greatest challenge yet, suffering through doubts about his place in the galaxy. He's thrust into action once more against his most bitter foe, Khan Noonien Singh, who has escaped his exile on Ceti Alpha 5. This is Ceti Alpha 5! And now seeks revenge on Kirk with a powerful... I think he gave himself a headache then. I heard did that. Never mind. With a powerful new device in the wrong hands and a no-win scenario in play, the cost of victory for the Starship Enterprise may prove too high. That's from Memory Alpha. Fans also love The Wrath of Khan for its score by the then 28-year-old James Horner, who went on to compose the score for the subsequent film Star Trek III, The Search for Spock. Horner's score for The Wrath of Khan was nominated in 2009 for an International Film Music Critics Association Award for the Best New Release/Re-Release of an Existing Score. Speaking of awards, Nicholas Meyer and William Shatner won the 1983 Saturn Award for Best Director and Best Actor. To secure your chance of seeing Star Trek II in the theatre, including exclusive insight from Turner Classic Movies, tickets are available from that website. Oh, and that's it. That's your lot. So there you go. So if you live, I don't know where it is, in selected theatres across the US, you can go see Star Trek II in the pictures. I don't know if it's the original, the theatrical release, or there's a special edition, isn't there? Which is a lot better. It's got extra scenes in. Probably, I bet it's the theatrical release. So there you go. So let's move on. Right, the big news of the last couple of days: Warner Brothers may have cancelled Batgirl for the tax write-off. In case you didn't know, Batgirl, which was a film that was supposed to be appearing on HBO Max. It wasn't going to be a theatrical release. It was going to be on HBO Max. It might have got a limited release, because I like to put them in one or two theatres, and then they can do the, for your consideration things, can't they, for the Oscars and stuff. But it's been shelved, apparently. Apparently it's a more or less completed film at a cost of, something like $90 million. And it's been shelved. Anyway, a new report indicates that Warner Brothers shelved Batgirl so that the studio could use the DC Extended Universe film as a tax write-down. And there's Batgirl. Don't ask me the name of the actress, it'll probably tell us in a minute. Warner Brothers reportedly shelved Batgirl so that the studio could use the film as a tax write-off. According to Variety, several sources have stated that Warner Brothers Discovery... I hate that name. I know Discovery's bought out Warner Brothers, but does it have to be Warner Brothers Discovery? Just leave that part of the company as Warner Brothers. Because it sounds silly with the Discovery bit on, but Anyway, we'll take a tax write-down on Batgirl and the recently cancelled Scoob Holiday Haunt, which I think's a CG animated one, which is seen internally as the most financially sound way to recoup the costs, at least on an accountant's ledger. However, when I see that, I always think of the ledger. What we got? Something like that, wasn't it? In The Untouchables, with that film, Sean Connery and other fella had to protect the man with the ledger from Al Capone's goons. Sorry. I'm sure it's like that in real life, even today. Or not. What was his name now? Who played Elliot Ness in The Untouchables? Oh, Kevin Costner. That's the fella. Anyway, however, should Warner Brothers choose to move forward with that strategy, the studio would be unable to monetize Batgirl in the future. This means that Warner Brothers would be prevented from releasing the DC Extended Universe film on streaming or in theatres, as well as selling the film to another studio at any point down the road. I suppose they could, but then they'd probably have to pay back all the tax that they got, recouped. I suppose there'd be some way around it, won't there, I imagine, in the future. Because it seems like a waste, doesn't it? It seems like a waste of talent. Although, even if the film's crap, a lot of people are putting a lot of hard work for it, aren't they? Just for it to be put on a shelf. It seems like a shame. Where were we? Originally slated to premiere on HBO Max, which we don't have in the UK yet. I don't know if we're ever going to get it. I think, is it Sky Atlantic that shows a lot of HBO stuff over here? But I don't subscribe to that, so never mind. Yar. In late 2022 or early 2023, Batgirl was cancelled in August 2022 due to the desire for the studio's slate of DC features to be at a blockbuster scale. It's also mentioned that they've also cancelled, the CW's The Flash. I think it's got one more season. I think it's on season 9. And then that's it for The Flash. So that's been cancelled as well. So is that it then? Is that it for the CW DC stuff? I know they cancelled Arrow, and I think Legends of Tomorrow's gone as well, aren't they? So what else is there? Supergirl, isn't there? The cancelled Batwoman. Is Supergirl still going? I don't know, because I haven't watched them for ages. And then there's The Flash, and so I think that might be it. Anyway. That was Moon Knight that we just saw there, didn't we? I don't know how that's showing, but never mind. Batgirl initially entered development in March 2017 with Joss Whedon hired to write and direct the film. He eventually left the project and was replaced by Christina Hodson as the film's writer and Adil El Arbi and Bilal Fallah as the directors in April 2018 and May 2021. I think they'd previously done the latest Bad Boys film. Is it Bad Boys for Life? Something like that, which I've not seen. Respectively. Leslie Grace, who previously starred in Warner Brothers' 2021 film In the Heights, was cast in the titular role in July 2021. Filming officially began in Glasgow, Scotland, or as they say in America, Glasgow, Scotland, in November 2021 and wrapped in March 2022. The film is estimated to have cost between $70 and $100 million at the time of its cancellation and would have needed around $50 million to market the film domestically had Warner Brothers opted to give Batgirl a theatrical release instead of cancelling the film. A rival studio executive has called Warner Brothers' decision to cancel Batgirl instead of releasing it in some form unprecedented. But it was also said to be crap. The reports before, they said it was irredeemable, and it said it didn't fare well at screenings, at audience screenings. So maybe it was just shite. The future of the Bat family on film, with Barbara Gordon / Batgirl no longer set to make her DCEU debut. Just call it the DCCU, Cinematic Universe, whatever. The future of the Bat family once again rests solely on The Dark Knight. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are both expected to reprise their respective versions of the Caped Crusader in The Flash. I mean, that could get cancelled. I know that a lot more money's gone into that, but you never know if they're going to change the direction with Discovery, with, I forgot his name, is it Zatlov or whatever the hell they call him, the fella that's in charge. He seems to be swinging his axe. But we'll see. While Affleck will additionally return for the Aquaman sequel. I think there's been reshoots for that. So, that's a bat sub, anyone? Warner Brothers is also developing a sequel to 2022's The Batman with Robert Pattinson back as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Keaton had shot scenes for Batgirl, but those will likely never see the light of day. It is unknown at this time if Warner Brothers has plans to bring back Keaton or Affleck for future Batman appearances in the DCEU. Pattinson's Dark Knight is set in a separate universe and is unconnected to the DCEU. Yeah, but The Flash, well, doing like the multiverse, wasn't it? I forgot what they call now. Oh, what they call it. You know, when he intersects all the universes, so you see all these different Flashes, and Michael Keaton's Batman comes in from another universe. The multiverse thing. They don't call it that, do they? They call it cross something or other. That anyway. They're doing that anyway. So what's his face? Pattinson's Batman could have shown up in future DC movies / series, because doing like what Marvel's doing, but said Warner Brothers have fannied about too long, haven't they? And Marvel got in there first. Where were we? There was something else I was going to say about it as well, and I forgot. It can't be important. Anyway, so there we go. So is that? Oh, no, we haven't done yet. The rest of the cast for Batgirl included J.K. Simmons as Commissioner James Gordon, reprising his role from both cuts of Justice League. So presumably he married a black woman then. If Barbara Gordon is supposed to be his daughter, or was she adopted? I don't know. Not that it matters. I mean, it matters to fans of the character and the comic book, because it's another race change, isn't it? Like they did with Batwoman. I mean, I don't give a monkeys myself because I'm not a huge fan, but I suppose it might be different if they decide to do a Deep Space Nine film and race change Commander Sisko. I'd probably be upset about that. But whatever. Brendan Fraser was also set to appear as the film's main antagonist, Ted Carson / Firefly, a disgruntled veteran who became a sociopathic pyromaniac, while Jacob Scipio, Ivory Aquino, Rebecca Front, Corey Johnston and Ethan Kite were also set to star, and that's it. What were I going to say about this up here? I don't know. But Aquaman's also had its problems, hasn't it? Aquaman 2, is it Fury of the Gods? Something like that. With the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. And I think Amber Heard said she's basically been cut from the film. We'll see. What were I going to say now? Tell you, when you get to my age and you forget stuff. I forget stuff all the time. I go in the kitchen and I forget what I've gone in for. So that's that. Speaking of The Flash, there we go. The Flash has finally been cancelled. Here's what we know about the ending. By the way, this is from Giant Freaking Robot. The last one was from CBR.com, and we've had Variety and Daily Star Trek News. All the links are in the description box below. So don't forget to... Yeah, I did it. Point in the right direction. Don't forget to like and subscribe up there in the red boxes. And share the videos and drop a comment and all that stuff. And we'll see what happens, eh? Right, where were we? And don't forget, if you're on Twitter, hashtag We Want Stargate, hashtag Save the Gate, at Prime Video, at Amazon Studios. Because we want Star Trek back, don't we? Stargate back, not Star Trek. We've got plenty of Star Trek, haven't we? We want Stargate back. Speaking of Star Trek, Robert Meyer Burnett has been saying that Season 3 of Star Trek Picard is going to be really, really good. We'll see. We will see. Right, The Flash. It's finally happened, and there's Grant Gustin as The Flash. A lot of people have been wanting them to, get rid of... I still forgot his name. Him that's playing The Flash in the movies. Ezra Miller. There we go. Been wanting to get rid of him, because of his bother he's having, and put in Grant Gustin, who is much more likeable. And I think they should as well. I think, the hell with the expense. Just reshoot all this. Just remake the film. Or just cancel it. Or remake it as a HBO series or as a special CW/HBO event, feature. But they won't. It finally happened. The Flash has been cancelled. The long-running CW superhero show will officially end in 2023 following a 9th season of 13 episodes, per a report in Comic Book. The CW and Warner Brothers Television announced The Flash was coming to an end, another in a series of cancellations and finales of programmes under the Warner Brothers Discovery umbrella. The Grant Gustin-led series has consistently been one of the most popular shows on the CW and generally was considered one of the flagship series on the network. I've got to be honest, I stopped watching it after about season 5-ish. I fell out with all the CW DC stuff, to be honest. Not that I thought they'd gone rubbish, I'd just lost interest. I also, don't play Hummer with me. We also found the Barry Allen / what's the name? That he's in love with. My brain. I always found it a bit creepy because they've been raised as like brother and sister, but then he'd always been in love with them. It's a bit creepy, isn't it? The Flash showrunner, Eric Wallace, recently revealed in an interview with TV Line that he had been preparing for the end of the show for some time. He described writing for the show while constantly prepared for its end as a friendly challenge, so there is probably some small relief in the other shoe finally dropping. The Flash became the tentpole show of the CW's Arrowverse universe of shows after the Stephen Amell Arrow show ended in 2020. Grant Gustin's version of Barry Allen was first introduced in Arrow, then received his own series in 2014. Grant Gustin is a fan favourite Barry Allen actor with frequent calls for him to be brought into the cinematic DC expanded universe. The Flash / Barry Allen is currently played by actor Ezra Miller in the DCEU, though the frequent delays of the Flash film and Miller's erratic personal behaviour have put that into question. Let me have a drinky. Have a drink. I'm going to burp. Oh, crikey. Excuse me. Hey, grand. Hey. Hey. Right, where were we? While the Arrowverse franchise of comic book shows does not have the same amount of cultural saturation as the Marvel Cinematic Universe films or the DC Expanded Universe, it has a devoted fan base that will no doubt be sorry to see it go. The cancellation of The Flash will leave the CW with only one remaining show, Superman and Lois, starring Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Tulloch as the titular characters. I saw season 1 of that and I quite enjoyed it, but I haven't seen any more. I forgot what I was. At one point, the Arrowverse included Arrow, The Flash, Batwoman, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning. Oh, I forgot about that. Was that on Netflix? I can't remember. And several web series. Slowly but surely, the comic book adaptations have been winnowed down. Now that Arrow, The Flash, Supernatural and Riverdale are all either over or coming to a close, the CW's lineup is beginning to look pretty thin. Well, there were talk that they were going to sell CW, weren't they? Part of this can be speculated to be due to the recent merger of Warner Media, which owned the CW, and Discovery Inc. to form Warner Brothers Discovery. Any large merger will inevitably result in reorganisation and some cancelled projects like The Flash. But Warner Brothers Discovery seems to specifically seems to be specifically gunning for former Warner Media programs. In general, it seems CEO David Zaslav has it out for scripted programming, and a whole lot of shows have been shut down as part of his plan to reduce costs company-wide. Oh, we haven't done yet. Bet they don't get rid of Shark Week. However, 9 years is still a pretty good run for The Flash, or any show for that matter. While we are losing one Scarlet Speedster on television, the character will no doubt be revived in some fashion elsewhere in the company. After all, in an infinite multiverse, there have to be multitudes of Barry Allens. Iris West. That's who he loves, isn't it? Iris just popped in my head. Always found it a bit creepy. Is that it? Yes, that's it. Right, there we go. Let's move on. Right, Andor. Here we go. We won't watch it because, I know Disney don't usually throw out copyright strikes, but, it might be my luck, won't it? So we'll just go through it. The Andor trailer, by the way, the final trailer, I think it starts soon. Does it say? September. 3-episode premiere on September the 21st. You see that? There we go, up there. September the 21st. So we see a trailer anyway. So we start off on this planet that looks a bit like Scotland. I know a lot of it were filmed in the UK, wasn't it? Andor. So this might actually be Scotland or Wales or somewhere like that, up in the mountains of Scotland or Wales, I don't know. But there's a couple of people trudging along. There they are. Don't know who they are, but they look up and they see something in the sky. No, they don't. They'll do in a minute. Anyways, this fella here is walking along. A lot of people have said, what's he got? An AK-47 for? I don't know if that's an AK-47 or not. But it's based on some form of, earthly rifle. And people, oh, God, it's rubbish. But remember, the Stormtrooper, rifles, blasters that we saw in the original Star Wars were based on, World War II, weapons, weren't they? The built around them, didn't they? So that's all they've done here. They're just carrying on that tradition. That's how I look at it. I'm not simping for them. I'm not, excusing it, but it's what they did in the original Star Wars. So there you go. But I don't know why I'd have a thing for a bullet to pop out of. They should have covered that up, shouldn't they? What they call an ejection, whatever they call it. Or maybe it's not a blaster. Maybe it is a projectile weapon, for shooting bullets. Maybe not everybody in the Star Wars galaxy has blasters. Right, they're all looking up. Some sort of droid here. Is it a droid or some mechanical device? It's looking up. There we go. And over it goes. An Imperial Star Destroyer in the atmosphere. Remember, this is Tony Gilroy, who did about, I think, just over half of Rogue One. I think it was more or less finished. Or it might have been finished by the original director, whose name is Edwards. What's his first name? Anyway, him. And what was it? Tony Gosling. No, not Tony Gosling. Yeah, it is Tony Gosling, isn't it? He was parachuted in to save the film. And I think he added the Darth Vader bits and some other stuff. And they say he did about 45% of the film. So what I've heard anyway. And that Rogue One also showed a Star Destroyer in the atmosphere. Showed it hovering over Jeddah City, didn't it? Which I didn't mind. At first I thought, but then when I thought about it, and I think I'd read it in Star Trek books that they do have anti-grav drives that they can use, to hover in an atmosphere. So I thought, well, whatever. It looked cool anyway. So that's what we've just seen there. There we go. There's this young Cassian Andor. I don't know, but it's obviously seen. I bet this will be the. Well, if he's young, it's during the Clone Wars, in it, or during that time. So is this? I don't know. I'm trying to think now. Will this it'll either be the early days of the Empire, and it's like strip mining this planet probably, or it's not the separatists, like the Trade Federation or somebody doing the same thing, to build their droid armies. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Somebody looking in a hole. I think it looked like a woman, that, didn't it? There we go. The Senate. I am the Senate. Somebody from the is this the Imperial Intelligence? Was it ISB? Is it ISB? I think it's ISB, isn't it? That's one of them. Don't know his name. Some more Imperial officers having a coffee. I wonder if they've got to make a Mr. Coffee just off screen with the dark helmet drinking his Mr. Coffee. What's all that gurgling and churning? I don't know, look. Oh, God. There we go. This person again that we've seen before. Is this the young Casinando? Is it, is it going to be a new character? Is it going to be where we're going to... Cassian Andor, it's called Andor, but Cassian Andor's not going to be the main character. In much the same way that Kenobi wasn't really about Kenobi, it was about Princess Leia and, what's the face? The other one. Reeve. Bet they do. So anyway, some sort of ship. I think this is Cassian Andor posing probably as an Imperial officer. Or maybe he was an Imperial officer at one point. I don't know. We will see, won't we? From the creators of Rogue One. As you see on the internet, Rouge One. People always put the U and the G to the way around, don't they? Bless them. Here we go. Stellan Skarsgård. The mighty Stellan Skarsgård. I hope the series is good. I hope it's good. But there's next article that I'm going to read after we've looked through this. Ooh. Anyway, there we go. Are they stormtroopers or clone troopers? Or is it, an in-between evolution? I can't really make it out.
Empire's choking us so...
Oh, yeah. They're like between clone troopers and stormtroopers, aren't they? Oh, my bum's going numb. I need a cushion. Oh, here we go. Stunning and brave Imperial officer. Bet she's a right bad un. That probably has a change of heart towards the end and helps Cassian Andor, we'll see. With a couple of death troopers. This will be the main character, you can bet. Not Cassian Andor, it'll be whoever she is. What's going on here? There's some sort of landing things. I don't know what's going on there. But it looks cool. Gritty sci-fi. There's Cassian. In some sort... I like it. Right. It'll be like a breaker's yard. A bit like in that game, Jedi Fallen Order. Cal Kestis started out in like a scrapyard, didn't he? Breaking down starships and stuff. So they've stolen that for this. Probably. Stellan Skarsgård again. Cassian Andor. Diego Luna, by the way, name of the actor. Streaming September 21st. There's some sort of ship, slightly reminiscent of the Falcon, isn't it? I know not really, but it's actually probably quite reminiscent of what the Falcon originally were designed to look like. Because it originally wasn't a saucer shape, was it? It was originally quite long, and they used that design and faffed with it and turned it into the Tantive 4, didn't they? The blockade runner. So maybe this is a throwback to the original Falcon design, maybe. There he is. Is he a goodie then in this, Stellan Skarsgård? I don't know. I have no idea. Ooh. I need new glasses, by the way. Well, these glasses, I think I'm due a test. But I'm going to have to get some new glasses. These are giving me some jip. Sorry for that little aside. Right, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, that's 2 tubes. Is that 2 tubes? I can't remember his proper name. But he were in Rogue One, wasn't he? And look, an X-Wing down there. Cool. So is this an early... Oh, no, this is Saw Gerrera's group, isn't it? And we'll see him in a minute. There we go, some alien looking at people. An alien. Don't know. Looks like a woman. Probably a woman. Bloke. I don't know. Oh, it's got Stellan Skarsgård in anyway. And he's going to talk to... here we go. He's talking to Saw Gerrera. There he is. Who, of course, spoilers, dies in Rogue One. Everybody dies in Rogue One. All the goodies anyway. Some sort of Imperial riot police or something. Do they need them? Do they need riot police? I mean, it could be argued, I suppose, that it's local security and not Imperial security. Could be argued at that. Here we go. Drop ships or whatever the hell they're called. I mean, like they used in the Clone Wars, but look slightly different, don't they? Don't know what that is. But he's looking, slightly cross. There's Cassian again. Some other bloke. Don't know who it is. They've got, nice clean uniforms, though. So they're the crew of some sort of ship. No idea. Here they go, look. Oh, they're on them dropships, aren't they? So what the hell's going on here? And what's with these silly little hats? What's going on? Obviously, you can tell their rank from the colour of the peak. What's... God, blimey. And he's... it's like me in cosplay, that. Just spilling out, every... Fasten the belt. Put me in a belt and tie and I look like sausages, as that comedian said. Some industrial stuff with lifts. An Imperial shuttle comes in for a landing. Some others. Oh, there's her. Look, that's probably going to be a goodie by the end. Looking at some sort of hologram. Diego and main character. I bet she is. The main character. Oh, she's thinking, oh, I don't know what she's saying.
A thief.
Yeah, a thief. But she'll end up being a goodie. She'll end up falling in love with her, do you reckon? She'll fall in love with her and help her escape at the end, or whatever. There's Stellan again. Don't know who the hell they are. See, we're seeing a lot of Stellan Skarsgård in this, aren't we? Oh, we're going to see some pew-pews. Pew, 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 pew. Wow, oh, look at that. Is that like, it's like Vader's prototype, that is, or is it a bomber? I don't know, because I didn't see it from the front properly. Let's have a look again. Oh, it's a bomber. It's a bomber, you can see it there, look. A TIE bomber and a couple of TIE fighters coming from whatever that is. It's a communications thing, innit, I think. They showed them in the Clone Wars, didn't they? And there were another ship that were hitting them with like an EMP or, some sort of, thing to knock them out. Yeah, so that's that. Ooh, crikey. Big explosions. Then things flying about in the sky over some sort of metropolis. There we go, there it is again. Is this Coruscant? Probably. There's Mon Mothma. Is she played by the same actress that played her in, the prequel trilogy and Rogue One? Because I know she's older, but she's supposed to be younger in this. She's in Rogue One. She looks slightly different, so that's why I'm wondering if it's the same actress. Genevieve, whatever her name is. Some people. And some more people. There's obviously some sort of senatorial get-together where there'll be whisperings about the beginning of the rebellion. There we go, she'll be saying that sort of thing. She's super attractive, I must admit. She's very, very pretty. who he is. It looks a little bit like, the Chancellor from, Terence Stamp. I know it's not Terence Stamp, and I don't know what happened to that Chancellor. What did they call him now? In Phantom Menace. What is his name now? Him anyway. It looks a bit like him. So is he playing the same? Is it the same character? Maybe, I don't know. But without Terence Stamp. Probably not. This is by yourself, look. Death Trooper, some sort of droid. Big explosion, people diving about. Don't know. Cassian, not the main character. Of Rebellion. I'm sure they said something before that. But, obviously I can't find it. Never mind. It'll say something like the beginning of Rebellion or something, won't it? Whatever. How the age of rebellion is beginning, or I don't know. There's Cassian. There's on some sort of dam. Well, not some sort, it is a dam. Because apparently they haven't made use of the the volume and all that, green screen, not green screen, but it's LED screens in it. Now they did with Kenobi and Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. A lot of it's location work, so it will have a very cinematic feel and it'll look cool. Somebody falling. This looks very much like I don't know. It's reminiscent of Camino, innit? I don't know if it is or not. Who are these running? Are they clones? Don't know. Or they're just scientists. I don't know. What's happening there? Some sort of another explosion. Yeah, another explosion. Oh, somebody with weird eyes. Has he been to that place on Tatooine for his mods? Oh, for God's sake. That was crap. Some sort of something going on. People rising up against the Empire and the proper stormtroopers now, not clone troopers. They're coming in to sort it out, no doubt. Is this on that dam again? Could be. Is that the same? Is she the same? The main character? I don't know. But she's got a stick. She thinks she's Rey. That's who she thinks she is. Ships. Pew-pews. TIE fighters. Pause that well, haven't I? What's that there, though? Is that the engine of some ship that's just flown past, or is it something in the distance? The Star Destroyer, from whence they came, I don't know. There's Diego. It's obviously under attack. Andor. Star Wars Andor. Not the battle for Andor. Ewoks. I know, that's Endor. 3-episode premiere streaming September 21st. September 21st. The first day of autumn. And that's it. There you go. So, yes. From the trailer, I thought that looked quite promising. But we'll see. But then I read this. Star Wars' next show will criticise Donald Trump politics, reveals actor. Now, I'm no fan of Donald Trump. I'm no fan of any politician. I'm not a very political person. Not in the manner of, politics, the political game, the shenanigans they get up to. I'm not, I don't like all that. But let's read it and, I'll probably have a rant. Right, while Star Wars is a sci-fi fantasy franchise packed with action and humour, those are only the trimmings. At its core, Star Wars is a narrative based on family, politics and religion, and despite the complexity of those topics, it's one of the many reasons why the franchise has resonated with the audience for generations. The tradition looks to continue with Disney Plus's new Star Wars show, Andor. Set to debut on September 21st, Andor is a Rogue One spin-off prequel starring Diego Luna, who's reprising his role as Rebellion operative Cassian Andor. But while the 2016 Star Wars film was a sacrificial war tale, and I've got to admit, it could actually be my favourite Star Wars film, even including, heresy, even including the the original trilogy. Ooh. I do like Rogue One. People knock it, but I do like it. It's a war film. It is a war film. People say it's boring. How can it be boring? They say, oh, no, it's only good for the last bit, the Battle of Scarif. And think, what are you talking about? Did you watch the same film? Did you watch Jeddah get blown up? Did you watch, the attack on Edu? Don't get me going. But it's a good film. Apart from Borgullet, that silly thing that came and read that bloke's brain. I don't know. That was stupid. But apart from that, it's a top film. And my favourite Star Wars film. There, I've said it. Right, Star Wars Andor tackling Donald Trump era politics. Here we go. Not only is Andor Diego Luna's return to that galaxy far, far away, drinking game, but it's also a homecoming for Rogue One writer Tony Gilroy. What did I say? I said Gosling, didn't I? I knew it didn't sound right when I said it. Tony Gilroy, who served as the Disney Plus show's creator and executive producer and was reportedly instrumental in its commentary on politics. I know they always politics is in politics is in Star Wars and stuff, and yeah, it is, and it was definitely in Episode 3, the Revenge of the Sith, with all the this is how liberty dies, the thunderous applause, that was George Lucas's commentary on the George Bush after 9/11. You're either with us, with the terrorists, you're either with us or with the terrorists. Well, that sort of thing. Getting Congress, cheering and stuff. It was that sort of thing, wasn't it? What they call it, the act that were introduced. It was the same in Britain as well after 7/7 and all that. It was the same here. You see more police with guns now on British streets. Britain were famous for its police force not being armed, but now you see more police with guns. Not all of them, but you go to railway stations and places like that and airports, they're all carrying MP5s or whatever they use these days. Right, in Talking with Empire, Andor actress Fiona Shaw, I don't know who that is, I don't know who she's playing. The name rings a bell. Was she in Harry Potter? Is that Fiona? Was she Harry Potter's auntie? Or is that another Fiona Shaw? Tell you what, I'll look it up. What, we're live. What the bloody hell? I don't care. I'm past caring. Fiona Shaw, actress, Star Wars. Then Fiona Shaw. It is her. Yes, I thought it were her. Yes, she's an actress. And yes, she did play Harry Potter's auntie Petunia Dursley. Yes, so it is her. Yay for me, getting it right. Anyway, she revealed that Gilroy has written a great scurrilous take on the Trumpian world. Well, she know about it, she's British. And that events in the series reflect what's happening in the world today. But we're not in a Trumpian world today, are we? We're in a Joe Biden world today. Tony has written a great scurrilous take on the Trumpian world. Our world is exploding in different places right now. That's not Trump's fault, is it? People's rights are disappearing. That's not Trump's fault, is it? He's not in command now. He hasn't been for like 2 years. And Andor reflects that. In the show, the Empire is taking over, and it feels like the same thing is happening in reality too. Yeah, but Trump's not in charge now. And they talk about the Trump era. They didn't really have an era. He had one go, didn't he? He had 4 years. Is it 4 years? 5 years? 4 years, isn't it? 2016 to 2020. And what did he do? He didn't really do a lot, did he, to be honest? He didn't do a lot, internationally. He scaled down, the Afghanistan and all that, and, interfering basically in other countries. Not completely, but he did scale it down a hell of a lot. He's most famous for, his wall. And they're going about, the kids in cages, but that wasn't a Trump thing. He could have stopped it, I suppose, but he didn't. That came about during Obama's, sitting. What else did he do? He authorised, drilling and stuff in areas of natural beauty for oil and all that. So he authorised that. People didn't like him for that. And then I think Biden then cancelled all that stuff, and now they're probably wishing they hadn't done. Because of, what's happening. in the non-Trumpian world. As I said, I'm not a fan of Trump. I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just saying it how it is. He hasn't been in charge for 2 years now. Sorry, that was my stomach. Anyway, while Lucasfilm's latest Disney Plus series, Obi-Wan Kenobi, was set 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, Andor picks up 14 years after the 2005 film and is expected to be one of the most comprehensive analyses of the Empire at its peak. But we also saw bits that were obviously set earlier because we saw Clone Troopers, didn't we? So there'll be a bit backwards and forwards, won't there? I think we might see some scenes earlier on of Cassian as a kid. Because, he were born to separatists, wasn't he? So he were on the other side. But he were young. But with the Empire in full force, as Shaw noted, people will be struggling as those in authority and the government itself are the main threat. Under such circumstances, the lines between right and wrong are often blurred, and that's something Shaw claimed Gilroy explores in the series. What's that got to do with Trump? I was impressed by Tony's social realist intentions. He's created a whole new morality. It's very deep and humane. There is grief, mourning, hope, fear. It's not just primary colours here. Even though Andor is Tony Gilroy's second Star Wars project, political themes are nothing new for the writer, director and producer, whose resume includes House of Cards and the Bourne films. And even though Star Wars is no stranger to politics, neither is Gilroy, who noted Andor comes from the same place as his other projects. Sorry, I'm just checking, making sure I'm still streaming. And I hope you can hear me. The little bar that's telling me the microphone's working says it's working, so I hope it is. I usually check this stuff before I go on air, but as I said at the beginning, I was rushing about the last minute. Putting me thing up, my screen up so you don't see me room. But it's getting dark now, so you probably wouldn't have seen it anyway. I forgot where I was now. Bourne films. And even though Star Wars is no stranger to politics, neither is Gilroy, who noted Andor comes from the same place as his other projects. Andor comes from the same place as everything else that's come out of this office. Clayton, The Bourne, The Devil's Advocate. Now this, it's all full-on drama. As to what the finished project will look like, particularly given Andor's echoes of this Trumpian world, except we're not in a Trumpian world. We're in a Bidenian world. Cassian Andor's own Diego Luna promises that it will be insanely ambitious, dark and real. I know you say, well, it were written when Trump were in power, but, so what? We're not in a Trumpian world. And described Gilroy's pitch as sick. Even as Tony was pitching me, this is Diego Luna talking, by the way, I was like, this is amazing, you are sick. Within the Star Wars filmography, apart from the rest, less mythical, grounded and shockingly dark, Rogue One's power is in the fact that its entire ensemble cast sacrificed their lives in a chance to stop the Empire. I must admit, as I've said, it is my favourite Star Wars film. Probably because it shows that there is an empire out there, not an empire, a galaxy out there that doesn't rely on the Skywalkers. There's other people doing things. And I know a Skywalker shows up at the end and kicks ass. But that's why I like it. Shockingly dark, Rogue One's power is in the fact that its entire ensemble cast sacrificed their lives in a chance to stop the Empire. To add to the story, there needs to be a reason. It certainly sounds like Andor has found that reason in Tony Gilroy's tale. It'll probably end. I think it's going to be. Has there been 2 seasons? Is there going to be 5 seasons altogether of this? Or I mean, towards the end, we're going to have to start hearing rumbles of the planet killer out with the Death Star. Anyway, following the release of Rogue One in 2016, American politics have increasingly become more divided and volatile, where desperation, instability and outright war know no border. That's not Trump's fault. While humanity is often drawn to storytelling and entertainment as a means of escape during such times, stories are often a way to provide understanding, perspective and even inspiration. I know it could be argued that, January 6th, what they call it, insurrection, but it wasn't an insurrection, it was just a mob, wasn't it, being idiots. Trump could have done more to stop that. I know he did. He said, "Oh, go up there, I'll meet you there," and he didn't. He sodded off, didn't he? But I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. There is. We're not being told everything. Get me tinfoil hat on. Anyway, while humanity is often drawn to storytelling and entertainment as a means of escape during such times, stories are often a way to provide understanding, perspective, and even, I've just read that, and even inspiration. From what Fiona Shaw and Diego Luna shared, fans can expect a reflection of our real world. Oh, here we go. They said that, don't they? Said that in the bloody Rings of Power, didn't they? Lord of the Rings of Power. It's going to reflect the real world. Why should it reflect the real world? This is set in a galaxy far, far away. And Lord of the Rings is set like in an alternative, fantasy world, for Christ's sake. We don't need a reflection. We don't need to see ourselves in the characters or the situations, to enjoy them or to be drawn in. Sometimes we just want escapism, don't we? That's what it all boils down to. We want escapism. We want to go into a world that we know nothing about, that we can explore. And, it's rich, and yes, it can be diverse, and it can, have politics and drama, but it don't have to be connected to our world. It's its world. Can expect a reflection of our real world in a way that's both real, ambitious, and relatable. This sort of Star Wars project is something fans have long wanted to see, particularly in terms of the darker side of the rebellion and the Empire. No doubt anticipation, Eddie, private joke, for Andor is on the rise, but along with the grit and commentary, a Star Wars story also needs hope. Well, that's how Rogue One ended, didn't it? Despite its tragic ending, Rogue One was still able to inspire and provide a sense of hope, and considering the state of the world now, here's hoping that Andor will do the same. The first 3 episodes are they're on September 21st. That'll be... I hope it's good. I hope Fiona Shaw's talking out of her bum. She probably is. And that it's not going to criticise Donald Trump. I mean, I suppose you could say any show can be interpreted anyway, can't it? If it's written vaguely enough, you can interpret it anyway. So, but we'll see what happens. See if it's any good. I hope it is, because they haven't done very well lately, have they? I mean, Boba Fett wasn't very good, and what else? The Obi-Wan Kenobi was. It was diabolical with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've just noticed a button on my soundboard that says Din. I wonder if that's Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. Shall I press it and see what happens? I don't know what sound it's going to make, because I can't hear it, but you'll hear it. I don't know what it did. I won't know until I listen to it back. Right. Anyway, so that's enough for Star Wars. I hope it's good. And I hope it's got nothing to do with Donald Trump or Joe Biden or anybody that's alive today. They're in a galaxy far, far away, drinking game. A long time ago. Right, lastly. Godzilla vs. Kong 2, working title teasers origin story for the Titans. Godzilla vs. Kong 2 gets a working title hinting at origin stories for the 2 titular Titans in the upcoming sequel now in production. There's a picture from them from the first, Godzilla vs. Kong, when they're fighting on a aircraft carrier, and stupid film, but a lot of fun. Right, off we go. What's the working title then? Is it going to tell us? Anyway, Godzilla vs. Kong 2 gets a working title. They're going to tell us what it bloody is. That hints at origin stories for the 2. Yeah, I've just read that out there. The film will serve as the 5th overall instalment in Legendary's Monsterverse franchise, which started with Godzilla, the 2014 one, with him that directed Rogue One, Gareth Edwards. That's the fella. And I must admit, I really liked that. Godzilla that first Godzilla film. You know, people said, "Oh, well, it was rubbish. You couldn't see the." Every time the monster started fighting, it cut away, and yeah, it did a bit, but I still enjoyed it. Plus, it had Elizabeth Olsen in. What did we go after that? Then we had what did we have after that? Was it Kong Skull Island after that? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, then it was Kong Skull Island, then it was Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was terrible. I've watched it twice, and I still don't like it. I'm going to watch it again, because I'm working through the films. So we'll see if I've changed, but I didn't like it. And then we had Godzilla vs. Kong, didn't we? Which I enjoyed, but it was stupid. And there's a direct sequel to 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong. Something's tickling my nose. I've got a bogey dangling out my nose. You'd tell me, wouldn't you? You'd tell me in the chat. Not that there's anybody there, but... After several delays to its release date due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the most recent Monsterverse movie released simultaneously in theatres and on HBO Max, raking in a respectable $470 million worldwide. That was more than enough for Warner Brothers to greenlight a sequel with director Adam Wingard returning. Earlier this year, the guest star Dan Stevens, that's a good film, The Guest, was brought... Is it that one I'm thinking of? Anyways, he's a good actor, Dan Stevens. Was brought on board the Godzilla vs. Kong 2 cast as the new human lead. Stevens remains the only actor attached to the sequel. And it is unclear whether or not previous stars, Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, and Carl Chandler will be returning. He'll be by himself, is he? It's like a one-man show. Late last month, Godzilla vs. Kong 2 began filming in Australia, with set videos revealing a beach attack scene. Now, the production start is spelling out more exciting news for the sequel. Are you going to tell us what this bloody working title is? While the Godzilla vs. Kong sequel does not yet have an official name, its working title has been revealed, shared by @KDM_monsters on Twitter. A set photo of the sequel's clapperboard reveals it is operated with Origins as a working title. Check out the photo below. There you go, Origins. Scene 223A, take 1. It's the lens, the filter, notes, number 4 times FX. So they're doing like an effects scene. Origins, Adam Wingard's the director. Cameraman Ben Serasin. Very good. Don't know what all this says over here. Not showing us that, are they? Godzilla vs. Kong 2, using Origins as a working title, is obviously a strong indication that the sequel will explore origin stories for the two titular titans. Stop saying titular. Or possibly for the ancient civilizations that inhabited Hollow Earth many millennia ago. In the film industry... God, it was stupid with that. But it was a fun film. In the film industry, working titles are used temporarily so an untitled film can officially begin the production process. Famously, Return of the Jedi's working title was Blue Harvest, wasn't it? Horror beyond imagination. So there you go. Where were we? However... high-profile productions such as Marvel's or even those from the Monsterverse often choose working titles that hint at the film's actual plot or themes, knowing die-hard fans are paying close attention. Since a sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong was confirmed, fans have been wondering what direction the Monsterverse will head in next, and this working title is one of the first substantial hints. Previous reports claim that Godzilla vs. Kong 2 was operating under Son of Kong as a working title. That's a good film. The original from 1933 came out not long after after King Kong. And it's a good film, Son of Kong. It's a good film. You don't see much till the very end when they get back to Skull Island, but, it's fun. But the original King Kong, 1933, is my favourite film of all time. It tops my list of favourite films because it's just amazing. And it's going to be 90 years old next year. Unbelievable. Nearly as old as me. I forgot where I'm going now. At this point, it seems equally likely the sequel could adapt either title, Godzilla vs. Kong Origins or Godzilla vs. Kong Son of Kong, both of which suggest a return to Hollow Earth and a deeper exploration of their world. It'll be a while until fans know for certain, as Godzilla vs. Kong 2 isn't scheduled to release until March 15th, 2024. And that's it. And that's your lot. That's all the news I've picked out for today. I'm sure other things have happened, but what the hell. So we'll leave it there. I've waffled on for over an hour. So, what else? Tomorrow is Thursday, isn't it? So that means it's the finale of the Orville. Season 3, episode 10. It's something to do, I can't remember the title, something to do with the future. Future Imperfect, something like that. But it's the finale of season 3, so is there going to be a cliffhanger? We'll see. But I'll be doing a review of that. And so that'll be fun. Hopefully it's a good episode. Hopefully it's a good one for the finale. So we'll leave it there. So, wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.